Officer pinning 15-year-old Jordan Brunson, who has asthma, to the ground with his knee and his hand on the boy's neck. His friend is the one shooting the cell phone video.
Bro, your friend, come here right now.
At one point, a woman walks outside. Moments earlier, Jordan says he was trying to help his friend, who was sitting on the officer's porch. He'd been beaten up pretty bad in a fight earlier that afternoon. We talked to Jordan at his home tonight.
I was examining him. I was going to go tell the grandmother.
He then says the officer came out of nowhere, grabbed them both. You never heard the officer ask what you're doing there?
No.
And you never heard the officer say, get off of my property?
No.
Did he ever identify himself as a cop?
No.
This is Jordan's aunt.
What's the intention of you seeing another man, another young kid, bleeding? Where was your police instinct to say, guys, what's going on?
With some help, she posted the video to Facebook.
The language is what's difficult. For you to be an officer, for you to say, I can kill you? What is that?
She says the officer's behavior is outrageous.
And I'm going to play the 90-second video of the actual event without interview commentation.
Bro, we can just forget all about this and run, bro. Hey, bro, let's go and we'll leave. We're gonna leave, bro. Your friend, come here right now. Leave. No, not. I didn't need it. I just got my ass on what's going on. You guys are acting stupid. I'm not involved in this. Okay, well, tell your friend and sit over here. I'm not involved in this. I don't give a fucking win. Do you understand that? Why are you doing this to me then? Right. Your friend's being a fucking idiot. Why you gotta do this to me? Let the hell your friend come over here then. Why do you tell him that? You gotta let him go. If you want. No, you're not. I'm gonna You're trespassing in my fucking yard, you understand? The what? You gonna shoot us? How? Trespassing in my fucking yard. My friend, we weren't trespassing. You don't. You just. Why are you doing this to me? We're not trespassing. He just walked in here. We can leave, bro. You're not. We didn't trespass. We didn't trespass, y'all. What are we doing? Bro, you don't understand. We just.
Okay, well, as a cop, do you, on duty or off duty, do you think that is what he was taught to do in training, or is that how he's supposed to respond?
As a cop, I would like to say this. Police officers are responsible to look at both sides. Both sides. I think everyone here needs to understand that we need to look at both sides and let this thing be investigated properly. I will not make a comment on that behavior, whatever occurred, because I wasn't there. I don't know the whole story. To fairly adjudicate that, there are people in place and they should be allowed to do that.
What's improper? I mean, we the hood. I'm pretty sure we can get a better investigation, and we have. We went out there, we spoke to the special detectives. The detectives told me, Nate and Chelsea, not to believe the video that we saw because the video wasn't the whole truth. And I told him, we may be young, but we not fools, and you're not finna sit here and tell us not to believe a video that we saw, and we're not going to ignore, blame police brutality and racism. It was racist. There was already, and they keep using the word juvenile. They're minors. There was already a minor.
It's actually the same.
But that's more of an aggressive word. You know the language that's used in media to promote propaganda and whatnot. They're minors, and one of them was injured. Now, why didn't the cop use his training? I don't know how much training they receive in 6 months, but why didn't he use his training to examine the injured Caucasian minor the same way as the young black minor was trying to examine his friend? Why are we skipping past his wrongs and trying to go to linguistics about trespassing or whether it's wrong or not?
It's clear as day. It's on the video. Why we gotta start playing games like, oh, we didn't see what we think we saw? Or maybe, something happened off the video that caused the police officer to do whatever he did. At the end of the day, That is an 11-year-old child that got choked out, had no weapon, and that police had no right to put his hands on him. He was off duty. He was off duty. You handle that situation like any other situation. You call the police, or you tell that child to get off my property, you are trespassing. You don't put your hands. Why is it always all these excuses for a police officer to mistreat a black child because they are racial profiling? Let's tell the truth here. This is racial profiling. All this is, he said he this, we didn't see what we think we saw. We saw what we saw. That is a black child that was being abused, choked out. And he's trying to explain he didn't do something, and yet he's still being choked.
So he's looking at it as a homeowner. He's also looking at it as a police officer. So you got two different things going on. Because you can hear his wife in the background. It looked like
Saying
his wife
you
made
came to the wrong house.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
Sounds a little premeditated, but
My name is Demetrius Cook. I'm the Vice President of NOBLE, National Organization for Black Law Enforcement Executives, 37-year police officer. I'm the president of the SWAT team for South Cook County. So I'm familiar with all of these suburbs around here, all 45 of them. I'm in every one of them at some point in time during the year. Number one, you can't paint the whole town of Lansing in a negative light because of one incident with an off-duty police officer. First, I want to say that. Second, I'm very familiar with the police chief in Lansing, and I have all the confidence in the world that he would do the right thing in terms of investigating the actions of his officer. That's what we have to wait and see about.
Yeah.
Now, the parents and grandparents and relatives of the young man that's on the ground in the video, they have a right to be concerned about what actions transpired with their kid under the hands of this off-duty police officer. But somebody said earlier, you can't make a judgment just off of that video. What you see in the video is real, but obviously it's some other parts to the story.
Yes.
And they have trained police officers and investigators in Lansing who can rectify this situation. A police chief has the responsibility of making the police officer accountable for his actions. And he also has to look out for the civil rights and welfare of the citizens. If I can't do that, then I'm not a police chief. So, and I know the chief in Lansing. Dennis is a good man. He'll do a great job in investigating that. And now process, and I understand that process and accountability. Accountability is good, and I'm glad you all are active. Y'all the future in terms of addressing wrong, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
civil rights.
Yes, I don't think that's a bad
That's how, that makes racism worse, when we keep each other at a distance and we make assumptions about each other and we don't have relationships with each other. You can't combat racism unless you get to know someone. Racism is me seeing you all as a group, and you're all the same. But once I get to know one of you, then I know you.
That's it.
You're just you. You're not black, you're just you.
I am black though.
I am.
Like for real, that's a big part of my identity. I don't like that whole color blindness. Like that's the thing that white people can get away with feeling, but black people always gotta know they black. And at this point, we should feel proud that we are, because now we know how special we are. So I'm black, I am. Like I love being black, but I will also say, I went to a predominantly white university. Being in a space with white people did not change the fact that we sat with black folks and they sat with white folks. And the only thing that changed is that now both groups are feeling uncomfortable with the other because we don't feel like we can be ourselves in that space. We don't feel like we can be loud, or we don't feel like we can actually be us because we don't want to be judged, and they don't feel like they can be them because they scared of us. You feel me? In order for everybody to feel comfort, to feel like family is who they're surrounded by, that's why I say that I want to be policed by my people, and not even police, served by my people. people because we not here to police each other. We here to help each other grow. And I just don't see that being any way near happening on the outside. I don't think nobody ever gonna feel that way about me as my people feel about me. That's all I'm really got to say.
Black people are oppressed from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. They have to understand that. If black people realize the education they got in schools, they should revolt tomorrow because they're not getting educated for survival. A lot of black people, especially in poor communities, are being programmed to go to prison. That's how it works. And so black people are oppressed, and you got to understand the oppression that you're living in. And it's a struggle. You got to fight it. Anywhere and everywhere, but you got to organize.
It's not true whatsoever.
It's okay, sir.
Thank you, Larry.
Thanks for coming out.
I really wanted to state that the fact that this police officer did what he did, I stated this from the get-go. He was totally inappropriate. And for him to keep his job, I think would be a travesty. So I just want to make sure that whatever we in for the long haul, because I believe that this guy shouldn't keep his job. Okay, and I believe that that message now dictates to the others what they will and won't be allowed to do. But in all honesty, I'm saying that to say that it's a long haul, because we know we go to the village hall, ask for the police officer's termination. Will it happen? When will it happen? Things like that. Because we know and we pay attention to everything that goes on. Laquan McDonald got shot 16 times and they still going back and forth with that. So I just want to make sure that it's known that we in this, we need to be in this.
Earlier, I mean, we've been talking about the process and waiting this whole time, but I feel like us as a people, we've been waiting and figuring out this process since the late 1700s.
Thank you.
I feel like it's time we start doing something. Worry about us now, so it's better for our children. And I feel like the cops and the minorities, we see it from the same machine, the same camera, but it's from different lenses. We're both people, and we all just scared of each other. Like you were talking about, we have to get to know each other. Well, we both got to understand we both machines, we both working.
Exactly.
We in this system. We just got to figure out each other.
And then that could be one of your demands, Nate, when you all go with the committee to do maybe have a diversity.
That's what we need. They need to go to schools,
Lansing.
play sports with the kids. The ones that's racist or we think the skeptical of being racist or whatever, they should be in programs with kids getting to know them because they don't know them.
Why shouldn't they all be in there?
Yeah, and it could be that. Those
They
could
could
be
all,
some
but I mean, we
initiatives
got
that you
people that
bring
know
to the
people in the
table.
community already. We need community leaders. We need people that know the people in the community. Rather than going up to some random, he's a young black kid. I got to do something about it. Well, if he knew him already, that shouldn't be a problem, especially if he live in the area.
The word process bothers me a lot because, and I wasn't even going to say anything, I'm part of the Young Democrats as well. I find it irritating, the word process, because and I get what he means, you know, internal affairs, he got to investigate, chief do whatever. But when you think of the word process, it's part of the law. You're following the law, right? And so with laws, you have rights. So with rights, you cannot tell me that I cannot protest. It's why we all are here in one room and not killing each other. Because I'm black, you're white, we're talking. And there was a time where it was racism. It was heavy racism. Still racism today, but whatever. So I just feel like we keep putting a Band-Aid on this. And it turns into police versus young person and not working together. So it's very irritating to me to hear that. I mean, because it's like continuously putting that Band-Aid on and saying, and then the whole thing about the press release. When I saw it, I'm like, okay, press release versus the video. I don't care what happened before the video. The video shows him putting a minor to the floor. That's what I'm going based off of. And based off of his excessive force, he needs to be terminated. Point blank, period. And that's all I got to say.
So Nate.
The point that I understand that the kids were fighting and all that previous, but kids will be kids, and we all need to know that, and that was a separate situation. The focus is on how the officer handled the young boy trespassing on his grass. And people who walk on my grass all the time, I live next door to a kid, And I've never had to put my hands on him whatsoever to tell him to get off my grass or if I had a problem. Hands on him, it shouldn't be personal. And the problem really is with the police and their respect for the people, period. It's not even just little kids. Yes, the kids and the black people are directly targeted for stereotypes, but the problem is that the police let that power go to their head, and they need to respect the people, period. So he handled the situation fully wrong, and that's why we're here, not because of kids fighting.
And I thought of this today, a little catchphrase. It's unity for the community. Okay?
I like that.
And then a couple points. Obviously, we all can agree the officer termination. I mean, that's why we're here. Which I thank you all for being here because it's a really good collaborative effort. But what are we going to do with police officers going forward? I mean, Troy mentioned the system. The system is broken. And you really can't fix it like that. But I really think that we need to stress to the city council that these officers, they need to be more people friendly. They need to come out of their cars. If they're sitting in their car right here, don't sit in your car. Sit outside of your car.
I think they should be
Pop
on
up a chair.
bikes. I mean, I think they should stop.
Interact with the community.
You know what I'm saying? And so often they should get off their bike and talk to some people in the community. And they need to document who they spoke to.
Make everyone feel well.
I think so.
Okay, 'cause you got to start somewhere. But all in all, guys, I just want to thank you all for coming here. It was definitely short notice. The flyer was a little extreme when I texted it to some of my white friends, per se. But I made it here, and I'm here for a reason. Thank you.
Now, before I speak, is it illegal for me to say the officer's name?
You asking me?
Yeah, you're an attorney.
He's Cal City Alderman.
By the way, let me introduce myself, and I did want to say something. I asked you a question a little bit. I'm DeAndre Tillman. I'm the Alderman in Calumet City 3rd Ward. I'm also an attorney. Listening to a lot of things that was said today, one of the biggest takeaways, I think, is the need to come together in our youth and go to city council meetings, run for office, be involved. That's part of the reason I ran myself personally. And I know we hate that word process, but that's the reality of it. And I watch the videos just like you watch the videos. I get angry just like you guys get angry. And that's part of the reason why I did what I did. But I know that just being angry isn't the way we're going to do the system or reverse anything. I know that the way we're really going to do it is to learn the process and to make it work for ourselves and make, build our numbers and go to city council meetings and do what we can together. But to answer your question, no, it's not illegal. You can say his name. You're not like with police force or nothing, so it's public knowledge.
All right. There comes a time where silence is betrayal. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. There comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor political, nor popular, but he must take it because his conscience tells him it is right. People fail to get along because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other, and they don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other. What I and the Young Democrats have attempted to do this evening is open up the lines of communication and create dialogue so that there is not a state of fear manifesting in our township between black people and the police officers who swore to serve us. We must live together as brothers or perish together as fools. We do not believe in half-truths, and when wrong is done, it should be acknowledged, and if the justice system serves us right and serves its purpose to protect us, they will terminate Officer William Mason. Because Thornton Township, nor Bloom Township, nor any other neighboring township believes in racist policing. Just because we are calm does not mean that we are being submissive. Just because we are calm does not mean that we are turning the other cheek. And just because we are calm does not mean that we forgive you. We in fact don't forgive you. We are the public, and Officer William Mason is a public servant. And we as the public do not want to be served by you. I want to thank you all for coming out here tonight. I want to thank you all for doing something new, because this has not been done out here, and we want to continue to do this. Yes. Take all the food home, because we bought too much. Please. If you all, which I'm sure you are, interested in the Young Democrats, and technically you don't even got to be young.
You be young at heart.